good. We also, all the other.
Right.
Oh, good.
Aww.
Can you do wah, wah, wah?
Oh, I was gonna do wah wah like they do on the Apollo.
Yes.
For all the African American viewers and people with
That's
cable.
back on TV.
Oh my. So yeah. So, hey y'all.
You're from the South all of a sudden?
Yes. You're gonna
Yeah.
So, quick shout out to all the divas that were competing over in Dayton over the last couple days for Diva USofA, or USofA Diva.
Don't forget this part first.
Yes, it was just wanted to shout that out because otherwise I know I forgot.
We're up to $18, I think.
Oh, fantastic! So, hi. Welcome to Let's Have a Fefe. It's your Wednesday night conversation. We're brought to you by Wigs of a Kind, the Burly Barber, and Gabe King Photography. Special thanks to those who are supporting us on Patreon right now. We have Brandon McGill, Carrie McLemons, Leanne Dunton, and Patricia Mason. Thank you guys so much. It's not a lot, but we're up to $18?
Yeah.
$18, which is fantastic. We're, eventually we'll actually might be able to use some of this stuff to upgrade things like sound and lighting and video and, cool stuff like that. So, there's stuff. And we're working on extras and stuff for Patreon and whatever. And so thank you guys for supporting us. This is episode 22.
Yeah, that's correct.
Okay. I'm never sure whether it's right or not. Oh my goodness. So I guess since Felicia's there, we'll talk about my weekend. Last night was Next Big Star at BS West, and we actually had 7 contestants. Thank you. It was we like it when we have contestants. It's we had our winner last night was.
You don't remember their name?
Venetia Page.
Oh, that's new.
She
like
and her partner Avery were actually they're transplants. They were here last year. They lived here for a little while, and then they went back to Oklahoma, and then just moved back recently. So they came out, and they both actually competed. Both were in the top 3. In fact, it was both of them were in the top 2. So it actually came down to the 2 of them. And Venetia ended up winning. So she's got a spot in the finale, and hopefully Avery will come back next week because he did really, really well. So that was cool. We had a sort of new drag king come out, like first time on stage ever.
How was he? Be honest.
Needs work, but but she's very willing to learn. Like, I went and I talked to her after, and, she's actually very willing to listen to the critiques and actually wanting to actually maybe do something with it. So that was kind of cool to see. Thank you. We had some queens, a bunch of some really good queens, and then some that I just defy explanation. My thing is, okay, so that this is a competition, right? And it's a competition that the finale, that's $1,000 that's at stake, right?
Ooh.
Thank you, Teddy Michael, for our studio audience. Why would you come out and just do whatever the fuck, and when asked, like, do you even care what the judges or what the coaches say or what the coaches think? Say, no, I don't really care. I'm not here to win. I'm not here to... Like... Why even bother then? Like, there's other things that you could do where, I mean, obviously with that kind of an attitude, chances are you're probably not going to win, but you're taking up time, and, like, I don't understand that, but whatever, maybe that's just me. Let's see, I'm going to talk about Felicia's weekend, because Felicia is still trying to
talk about that part anyway.
Yes, we're going to circle back to that.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, Felicia's weekend, by reading the show notes here, because Felicia is still trying to put her face on at 8:06. One of Felicia's little ones was in the hospital, but she's doing better now, which is good.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, look at you. took a necessary mental health day, which
yeah. And then it didn't end so well because my mother decided to give me a guilt trip of my life.
Well, that's parents. That's what they do.
What is this?
And then on Sunday, I was helping out a little bit. I was doing some stuff at the Phoenix Pride pageant, and Felicia was that a dress or a shirt?
It's a shirt.
Okay. And Felicia was dressing sassy.
There's a lot of people watching.
I don't know. I can't imagine why we have so many people watching.
This is bad.
No, that's right. What the fuck? Oh.
Let's make Marissa happy. Let's see here.
I don't even understand what's happening with that. Okay.
And now they don't believe you.
We're gonna circle back to the Pride pageant in a second.
Where do you want it?
Do we want to close the door?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's gonna be pretty.
Which means Tay's gonna have to move, and then we're gonna have to. Whatever.
Just go forward. You're fine.
We'll be fine.
I'll close it.
No,
we're gonna circle back to the Pride pageant in a minute, but you know we're gonna talk about other stuff first because you know. But I promise we're gonna get back to it.
We're gonna be there.
We will definitely talk about it. Don't worry about it. And everybody knows that I'm not shy about talking about it because
we've talked about it already.
we already talked about it. So yeah, we'll come back around to that. So we'll just jump right into my tip. And then
I'm so sorry what you're about to see. If you haven't seen it already. This is very low-hanging than I remember.
The fuck? Oh my.
This is...
I am so sorry. So we'll just jump into my tip and then we'll circle back around, I think. Because we know it's probably going to take a minute.
Yeah, more than the 3 tips that I put in there.
Yeah. So we'll just we'll come back around to it.
Oh, she's not too bad.
So
she could have been worse.
It's terrifying, but you know. All right, so my just the tip this evening, we are going to. My just the tip this evening is navigating a trans man vagina. That's actually tips for the cis gay male. Because a lot of times we get.
I got a friend request.
You have a friend request?
Somebody must have deleted themselves. I must have pissed somebody off.
That's funny.
I must have pissed somebody off today by saying
job.
It's too soon, I'm sensitive, and we continue.
Nice. So when it comes to trans men dating cisgender gay men,
which is not unusual.
It's not unusual, but oftentimes
I don't like this shit.
You have the cis guys, the gay guys, are a little unsure of how to navigate things. They're like, okay, this is not something I've ever seen before, I've ever worked with, this is entirely new, I don't even know.
Talk back.
Like, this is completely new for me. So, we decided we're going to chat a little bit about, you know, the best way to kind of navigate around this kind of thing, and, you know, what to do and what not to do if you happen to be a cisgender gay male who is attracted to and would like to potentially have sex with a trans man.
Tell us more.
So, one of the key differences is that the vagina is self-lubricating.
Oh my god.
Which, it's been my experience that a lot of guys get, especially if they've never had sex with like a woman or any other vagina before, the whole self-lubricating thing is intriguing for them. It's like, ooh, this is different. It's like, yes, it is. But keep in mind that lube is still a thing. Lube is good, regardless. It may be self-lubricating, but lube is still good.
Mm-hmm.
Just, you know. The vaginal canal is not infinite. There's a stopping point. You laugh.
But the way you're at...
There's a stopping point. It's a fucking wall. I mean, you slamming into it harder is not going to make the wall go away. Okay?
This is not... Well...
Technically, okay.
Depends on who you're talking.
If you think about it... if you think about it, okay, so if you're doing stuff with the butt, right, you can lose things. You
Where
can
did
lose
it go?
things. Like there's a little more room there in terms of where things can go.
Where does it go?
Up your butt. With the vagina, not so much. Like, there is an actual stopping point. So if you happen to be on the long side, keep that in mind. And just ramming into the cervix is not.
Why not?
Fun. Like.
Is it comfortable
no.
for the other person?
Are you changing?
Yeah, because I didn't like the shirt.
I'm so confused. It's just not comfortable. It's just keep that in mind if you're on.
Oh, where's the third button? Oh boy. This is fun. Keep going.
For fuck's sake. Every I don't even know. Every trans guy is different, right? Some guys are more comfortable with some things, others not so much. Ask your partner, ask
they don't have to be your
dude
partner.
You're trying to hook up with, ask whatever it is.
Better.
Ask them what they would like you to call it. If anything.
Call what?
The vagina.
Oh.
Because the natural sort of instinct with just about any guy when they're sleeping with anybody that happens to not have a penis is to just start talking about it using the usual terms, the usual names, which depending on the trans guy, not all trans guys are okay with that. Not all trans guys are comfortable with you calling it. I can't even like the P
names?
word and the things like not every trans guy is comfortable with that.
Penis.
No, penis is fine. It's the other.
Pussy?
Yes, thank you.
Okay.
Not every trans guy is okay with that. Some don't even really want you to acknowledge it at all. So it's better to ask than to say something that could be potentially triggering or kill the mood or whatever. Just ask. And it's
how do you bring that up in conversation?
If you're gonna fuck somebody, it's not that hard to say, hey.
Oh, whoa. Okay.
I'm just saying, like, you're already there, you know what I mean? Like,
oh my god.
It's really not, and most trans guys aren't going to be weirded out by that question, because better to ask than to say something that's not right, you know what I mean? Like, just...
It's weird.
Like I said, not all trans guys even want to acknowledge it. It all depends on the individual. It's all, Always make sure that the trans guy that you are about to go to town on is okay with things like penetration. Mm-hmm. Any sort of penetration, whether it's vaginal, whether it's anal, whatever. Always make sure. Because some are not. Especially when it comes to vaginal penetration. So that's something that you always want to make sure. Hey, are you okay with this? Or ask, what do you like? What do you enjoy? Whatever. And they'll tell you, I like this. I like having traffic cones shoved up my ass. Whatever it is, they'll tell you. There's no problem with that. Don't stick anything inside anywhere without making sure that it's okay first. That includes your fingers. That includes anything. Don't assume. It also tends to be one of these things where a lot of times if you're doing stuff down there with your face and your mouth, a lot of times the instinct is to stick a finger. Don't do that. Don't do that. Unless you are sure that that's okay. Like,
make sure you got a manicure.
Well, there's that too. Like, make sure your hands aren't... make sure your hands aren't all gnarly and shit if you're gonna do that.
I mean, that goes for both.
Because... But, don't...
I'm married to
don't stick anything
lighter.
Anywhere without asking first. Ask him, and this is a slightly different question than what you would ask the one previously, because the question, we
moved on to another guy.
No. I'm saying, so there's numerous bits and things that are happening down here. So you find out, if anything, they're okay with someone referring to their vagina as, right? Mm-hmm. Ask him what he refers to his junk as. It could be some examples for those of you that are struggling with sort of thing.
You have this, or do you want me to read those too?
I can do it, I think.
Cock.
I struggle with
dick. Dicklet.
Dicklet.
Boy.
Yeah. Boycock.
Boycock.
Mm-hmm.
And use it.
So whatever. No, that's.
Oh. Okay.
Oh my god.
I was like, whoa.
No, it's whatever it is that they say that they refer to it as. Use that. Like don't come up with whatever and use typically sort of feminine terms for things. Like, you know, unless they're okay with that. If they're okay with that, then fine, whatever. But ask. You know, what's nice is every once in a while you come across gay guys who are like, even if they're not necessarily all that experienced with trans guys, right off the bat, they immediately start, you know, referring to things as, you know, your cock or whatever it is, which is kind of cool because there's no prompting, like you don't have to think about it. They just automatically go with the sort of male terms for things, which is awesome and it makes things a lot easier. And regardless of, you know, whether he's had any sort of surgeries, whether he's been on testosterone for a year or 6 years or whatever it is, depending on, you know, regardless of the amount of growth that there is or is not, treat it like you would any other penis. It may be on the small side, but treat it like you would any other penis.
Oh.
Because that's what it is. Like, don't act like it's anything different. Like, just treat it like you would any other, you know, any other penis. Just slightly smaller.
I lost my third button, and it looks like I stole clothes from the baby cat.
Oh my god.
I'm not going to change again, though.
Praise Jesus. Pay attention to what your guy likes. Like, you know, figuring out what feels good can be a little bit of a process. So,
I think that's for anybody.
Right. And I mean, even if you're just, you know, even if it's just a hookup or whatever it is, just kind of be aware, like pay attention. This is where sometimes the conversations ahead of time can come in, you know, like, hey, what do you like? You know, tell me what feels good, that sort of thing, so that they can, you know, you can go with that.
I invited you to watch this.
And
here.
Thank you. Yeah. And honestly, treat him like you would treat any dude that you were fucking. Trans guys, we're not an experiment. You know, you're if fucking dudes is what you normally do, then treat a trans guy like you would with any other guy that you're fucking. Like it's really that simple. It's really not that complicated. So.
Simple, you say?
But you know, in terms of the vagina, really isn't as scary as some people like to think it is. It really isn't. Are you a gold star? No, you're not a gold star. No, me either.
I'm not getting into that conversation because last time I said gold star, I stuck my foot in my mouth. Clearly.
Oh, indeed.
Hi, Victoria.
Hi, Victoria. Hi, everybody who's watching. Oh, my goodness. So, oh, there you go. Hey, Vivica.
Eddie
and Eddie. All right, so gonna do a quick offbeat, or should we circle back around?
I'm good for the offbeat. There was a man that got pulled over in the UK, and he tried to get out of a ticket with his license that read Homer Simpson, and it looked like Homer Simpson on the. I guess I wish I would have pulled up the picture. It was like exact, but then he got read on the internet because he had the address wrong, he had the age wrong. So you better be careful of those diehard fans. Report. Giving up porn for Lent leads to 17% a 17% drop in computer viruses across the U.S. It's scientific.
I'm really glad I'm not Catholic.
Oh, for those that don't know, Lent is like, what is it? Like, I grew up Catholic. I should know that.
It's sort of like it's
like your sacrifice.
You give
right?
up a vice. So for some people it's alcohol. For some people it's meat. For some people it's sugar. For some people it's a vice. It's you give up a vice
But do you say that in
Lent.
church? Do you, like, go by, like, when people are like, what did you give up? Do you go, I gave up porn?
I think they probably make up something else. Like, they gave up red meat or something. Get it? Red meat.
And this one I posted yesterday because I could not believe it.
I saw this. It's so fucking dumb.
Believe it or not, there's a woman that's suing a drag queen for $1.5 million after claiming she was injured by the queen's breast.
Yeah, I don't know. Some of those breastplates are kind of
These
dangerous. Like those breastplates are fucking heavy duty.
She has breast.
Oh, is it a trans woman?
Mm-hmm. She has them. But by looking at the pictures, I mean, I guess. I mean, but where does she think that this queen is getting her money from? Because she obviously has not seen the tips, I guess. Is she earning $1.5 million? How is this happening?
I don't know.
So that's my offbeat. I couldn't find the guy that walked into jail with 2 items. Walked in with a gun, and he walked in with a sex toy. And he told the officers that he used one of them, but didn't know what to do with it. So he brought it with him.
Yeah.
I'm gonna leave that to you.
Real quick on current events.
Yes.
Okay.
I wanted to know what you thought of the first. I don't know if this is the first because the article didn't read it as the first, but they never mentioned that there was a first.
I've never heard of anybody else, but
so while looking for offbeat news, I figured that this was less offbeat and more current event. A transgender male became the first spokesperson for feminine period products.
Which, honestly, I think is great. Because, just like I say all the time, not everybody's transition is different. Not everybody can medically transition. And even when you do, there's no guarantee that the testosterone will stop your periods. Which is fucking awful, if you ask me. Like, I can't even imagine. I got lucky, and I got through, like, half of a period, and then it stopped, and then no more. Like,
you said, where'd it go?
It was literally after, like, my second shot. That was, like, it. Because it...
you only took one shot and it was done?
It was where mine fell. Like, I took my shot, and then, like, I started, like, right after that. So it was, like... But it didn't last.
I talked to some trans men that, like, talk about cramps. And
yeah,
like,
no.
Oh my God.
And that's... Well, if you haven't had a hysterectomy, cramps are still totally a thing. You know, so there, and a lot of times there are guys that are on testosterone and they're still bleeding. Like, it sucks.
Yeah.
It's fucking awful. Like, it's that's not okay.
So it varies by...
It varies. Everybody's biology is different. Plus...
results may vary.
Plus you have to remember that not everybody can be on testosterone. And, you know, unless you're on some sort of birth control that's going to stop your periods, even then there's no guarantee. And there are trans guys who, they're fully intact and they decide they want to have a kid, so they have to come off the hormones, which is going to kickstart everything again, and you know what I mean? So the trans men do have periods, and it fucking sucks balls. Like, I feel so bad for any trans guy that I see that you know, yeah, it's not okay.
So this is a good thing, a progressive thing.
I think so.
Moving on to non-progressive things. A Phoenix councilman, I don't even know how to say his last name.
Michael Nowakowski.
Yeah. He refused to resign today and after a video of him denouncing his support for same-sex marriage and transgender use of restrooms, because he was like meeting with like a group of like Christian reverends or something like that, and in this meeting somebody's recording him saying that he's against that he never thought he would see the day that men could marry men,
Right.
and that that trans people will be using the same bathroom as his daughter.
This is after previously speaking up in support of LGBTQ rights and things like that,
and not to say that you judge a book by its cover, but he's pretty well.
No,
kept.
That reminds me of like McCain, who flip flops all over the place and says what people want to hear.
He says that he wouldn't resign, and today in full force, a lot of LGBTQ groups were like asking him to resign and asking. I think even the mayor spoke out. The Phoenix mayor said that he didn't want he couldn't agree upon anything that was said. And tomorrow, I guess, they're expected to vote to appoint him to be Phoenix's vice mayor.
Does Mayor Stanton have any say on that? Because that's bullshit.
I'm thinking that the mayor is going to vote no, because he obviously pretty much stands by our community. But I found that one by accident. That was like, whoa, what did he do? And then it just kept like, like, you know, like when you find like good gossip and then you keep flipping,
right?
And you keep flipping,
right?
And you're like,
get
oh,
stuck
shit.
in the rabbit hole, and there's one thing after the other,
so
after another.
I found more stuff on him, but I haven't figured out if those things are true, and if I do, then he's on that list. You know, that list where you can't trust the politician.
Right. Well, so bad enough, like, you know.
I mean, you think that you have people in your corner supporting you. I mean, even if he felt that way, he just influenced a whole group that influences.
So he's lying to somebody.
Yeah.
The whole thing is he's either lying to the LGBTQ community or he's lying to the Christian community. Either way, it's bullshit.
Either way,
he's trying to play one side against the other, and it's not. He's not
doing himself any good at all.
No, definitely not. Definitely not.
Thank you, babe. I'm a mess tonight.
Awful. That's terrible, Felicia.
I didn't realize it was missing a third button.
Oh, God.
I thought I had all my buttons.
Apparently not.
There's a button at the top.
Did you?
Oh my God! No. Did I misbutton it? Oh my God!
For fuck's sake!
Oh my God!
Wow.
You've been sitting there thinking it the whole time. Take a picture. Do it. I don't care. It's streaming live.
Oh my God! This is why we can't have nice things.
Oh, this is very nice. I found it in the... Oh God!
Jesus! All right. So, shall we circle back?
Can you still see my belly button? Oh, there we go.
Shall we circle back?
Well, you know that's what. Look at the numbers.
Right. Joe. That's what everybody's waiting for. All right. So. Pride pageant.
What about it? It was wonderful. It was delightful.
It was, first of all, I have to say that, you know,
the food was good.
All the contestants came out and you know, it was a competition. It really was. However.
Oh, I feel like this is what you have to do a compliment sandwich. Are you doing a compliment sandwich?
Here's the thing. Okay, so for those of you that weren't aware of or not aware of the situation, and Felicia didn't get to see it, I saw it because I was there. I was standing right next to the stage. Maya McKenzie, who ended up winning Miss Phoenix Gay Pride, and congratulations, Maya. I have nothing against Maya as an entertainer or as a person. However, she did a talent number that was a Mommy Dearest number, and basically the entire number is basically her slapping Christina around, slapping around the reporter, and then pulling out a gun and shooting them both.
Mm-hmm.
And here's the thing. And like I said, I have no problem.
Trying to be sensitive?
I have no problem saying this because I've already written a letter to Phoenix Pride. I wrote a letter to the Pride Board the day after, because this was not something that I was willing to let slide. I felt that it was an extraordinarily poor taste. we've literally had 12-year-old black boys shot for having a toy gun. We've had, was it 16, 15 students, I think, and like 2 teachers, I believe, gunned down within the last month. More than that now. There were just 2 more shootings.
And now bombings.
And bombings, and like the violence is out of control in this country. And from my vantage point on the side of the stage, when, and mind you, this is an all ages event. Mm-hmm. There were children in the audience, and while this talent number is happening, I'm watching people get up and leave. They're leaving because between the gun, the abuse, all of it, people were being triggered. Genuinely triggered. And they couldn't do it. People were escorting their kids out because they weren't okay with them seeing this talent.
There was also a couple that there have been some people that have moved from Vegas to here in our community that were in the audience, not the one that joins us on a regular basis, but that lived in Vegas at the time of the shooting. And I know still that is still something that is haunting them in the back of their mind. So,
and when I wrote the letter to Phoenix Pride, in a nutshell, this is what I said. Raise the camera.
Oh, are we not being seen?
I don't know. Apparently, whatever.
I kind of rushed in here and didn't check that.
What I said to the Pride Board, and I sent the letter to the Pride Board.
Will you turn that light on for me? Thank you.
What I said was, first of all, that I was extraordinarily disappointed. There was a contestant who competed for a prelim, and she was told that her talent number was too sexual in nature. And she was like, okay, and that it was inappropriate for Pride. She then changed her talent when she competed for the next prelim. This talent was done at the same prelim. Maya's talent was done at the same prelim. And no one said anything, which to me, and this is exactly what I said to the Pride Board, was that sex is not okay, violence gets a green light, and you can be disqualified for making a mess, but violence is okay. Considering there were children in the audience, this was an all-ages event, and in this community in particular, so many people have dealt with childhood abuse, childhood neglect, gun violence in the form of domestic abuse. It was insensitive. It was in poor taste. And frankly, for me, it showed a complete lack of understanding. And this is a community title. This wasn't, a national thing or whatever, where maybe a talent like that on a national pageant, fine, whatever. Mm-hmm. But this is a community title. If you're competing for a community title, you should be aware of your community. You should at least have some knowledge of your community. And if, and I get it. No one told her that, hey, this could be problematic. That's Pride's fault. That is 100% Pride's fault. Pride should have said, this is not okay. This is inappropriate for this pageant. Pride did not. Neither did any of her friends, but I don't expect that, generally. We all know that pretty much everybody is surrounded by yes people, which means that... Johnny, you'll have to look. If you go to phoenixpride.org, they have all of their board members up there. Almost everybody has their friends, and generally your friends aren't going to be like, dude, That was not okay. So the fact that none of her friends said anything, that doesn't surprise me. But the aftermath of this is concerning. What people I think are not understanding is that the problem is not with Maya.
Well, I don't think that's the problem. I didn't see it, but I don't have a so I don't have like that. What I've commented, I've kind of been like, well, I didn't really see it, but from what I understand is that we lost a lot of brothers and sisters to gun violence. So at the same time, it may have been okay because she's done it before, but at the same time, it's the essence of the time. It's just like anything that's comedic. It has to be the essence of the time. But at the same time, people were saying, well, it's drag. It's supposed to be, you're like making fun of and yada, yada, yada. But at the same time, if this is an all ages, all audience kind of thing, and you have people that, I know one contestant in particular had an audience full of family, like the whole table was their family, and they got up and came to see the contestant when Maya was performing. From backstage, that's my point of view. But if somebody is uncomfortable enough that they have to go find something else to do,
that's and again, I think that people are misunderstanding this. It is not an issue with Maya. I've had many, many interactions with Maya throughout the years. Many.
Which she apologized.
Teddy actually wrote Maya a message and explained that, this was problematic and this is why it's problematic and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And Maya did apologize.
And said it would never be done
and
on a Pride stage again.
And said that she was retiring the number for a Pride stage, which I commend her for that. And again, the issue is not with Maya. I'm going to keep saying that. The issue is not. Of course they are. Of course they are. What bothers me now with the aftermath of all of this is the insensitive assholes. And yes, I'm saying insensitive assholes that are like, whatever, it's fine, just get over it. Do not minimize someone else's experiences. Do not minimize someone else's past for your own fucking entertainment. I am allowed to say that certain things trigger me. I am allowed to say that there are certain things that deal with certain types of drugs and medication that are extraordinarily triggering to me. Things that for anybody else might seem very benign and no big deal. We do have
recovering addicts too.
Right, but there are certain things, like I was watching an episode of Lockup, and the prisoner was talking about how he made money by selling Seroquel. And I'm watching this, and I'm noticing that my heart started racing, my ears got hot, and my hands started sweating. And I was like, what the fuck? And then I realized why. For most people, they'd be like, whatever. They probably won't even know what the fuck Seroquel is. But because of my past and my experience with it, that shit is triggering. And it is no one. You cannot tell me to just get over it. You cannot tell me that, whatever, it's just art. Here's the thing. I am all about making an audience uncomfortable if there is a point to it. I've done numbers that are based around things like suicide, that are based around, trans discrimination and things like that. And it visibly makes people uncomfortable. But here's the thing. It makes people uncomfortable because they're like, ooh, shit. Because
it makes them think.
It makes them think. It puts them in that thing where they're like, oh my God, this is deep. This was not deep. This did not have a point. This was violence for the sake of getting a cheap laugh. And then afterwards, and it's all the people that I absolutely expected to be like, whatever, it's fine, get over it. It's all the same people. Because it's all the same people that whenever anybody expresses any sort of concern, that are always like, whatever, this is so stupid, you just need to get over it. It's always the same people. And
is it the same one that I said something to and they said something to me?
Probably.
Okay.
It's always the same people.
I had to be vague about that.
It's...
Wah, wah.
But, you know, and like I posted earlier...
I have a point to make to you later.
PTSD exists. Alcoholism exists.
Mm-hmm.
Addiction exists.
Mm-hmm.
And just because you didn't struggle with them doesn't mean that someone else
needs to get over
it. That is not how that works. This fucking community is so ugly at times like this. Fucking ugly. I'm sitting here looking at this and watching these people just, these glib fucking comments about, oh, I'm triggered, ha ha ha, blah 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 blah. The gun that Maya used did not have an orange tip on it. There was nothing on it that indicated that it was a toy. Considering a 12-year-old black boy was shot and killed for having a toy gun, does anybody think that, like, that you're just going to ignore that? Like, it's not okay. And I appreciate that Maya apologized to Teddy when Teddy reached out. I have yet to see anything publicly, either from her or from Pride.
Well, I think, okay, so what I'm going to say relates to this. So, when we're voicing our opinions on whatever platform we're on, because I've seen people get beat up on Instagram now, I've never experienced anything like that, but the other day I was like, ooh, let me go ahead and delete, because you know it's easier to delete things on Instagram. Right. But what I want to say is, okay, so people have rights to their opinions. Mm-hmm. If something is serious, and it looks like it's serious, it's just like when we entertain. You gauge the room. You don't walk in into a funeral parlor and go, I mean, let's get this party started. I mean, no, bitch. No, you don't do that. You walk in there and you're serious just like everybody else. So the comments that I'm reading, like, people are like, get over it. If you were face to face with these people, I don't think that you would get over it.
Right. Everybody's got to be offended about something. Blah, 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 blah.
The one thing that I will say, though, Savannah posted something the other day, or was it yesterday? She posted a meme that said about, like, and I'm changing the subject, clearly, about girls not wearing boobs and nails. And she clearly announced it as a joke. Where are people? Why do people take it seriously? And if you know that your drag is an art and you know all this stuff, just scroll. I'm not saying just scroll past all the serious issues. If you feel something, feel it. But if we're talking about stuff that we do, and you know that you do drag, go out there and do your drag, get your money, and collect and move on.
I'm just on in terms of that type of thing. There are a few queens that have come out to Next Big Star that they maybe might wear nails. They don't have boobs. They don't, but they're fucking fierce as fuck. But Coco says because people like to create drama where there isn't, and yes, that is absolutely fucking true. But the thing is that you have to recognize.
But there's other real world issues that we should be commenting on that nobody says anything about.
Right.
Just like that councilman. Nobody probably even knows about this, right, that this is happening. A whole bunch of people live in Phoenix because, God bless, I live in Mesa and I don't have to vote for this person. And I have it just as bad because I'm surrounded by Mormons. But nobody is complaining about this stuff. I can probably put this article up about the Phoenix councilman, and nobody will probably say anything about it.
Because they don't.
I post stuff all the time about, like, black women in the community you know, getting awards and stuff, and sometimes people never commented it. On as soon as I post something about something stupid,
and everybody jumps all over.
Everybody's like, oh my god, oh my god. I appreciate the engagement, but I really wish that people would wake the fuck up.
And, you know, people are getting more bent about shit on Drag Race than...
I mean, there's political issues. There's things that Donald Trump is passing that nobody is paying attention to. You keep hearing on the news, oh, he's not doing anything.
Right.
Yeah, better pay attention, because you can, sure enough, go and look to see what's been passed.
It's like, here's the thing, okay? When it comes to...
D says, why deal with the real
problem when you can live in the drama? Mm-hmm. You know?
We'll talk about that at the end, Valentina.
You may not be triggered by anything. You may just be like, whatever the fuck, you don't care about anything, and that's fine. Do not dismiss the people who are triggered, who have dealt with, or are still dealing with things. Because when you start alienating them, that...
And it's not to be...
Just move right along. If someone says that someone bothered them, like, is bothered by something, like, last night, Avery Page came out and did Gold Digger. The uncensored version.
Oh.
Exactly. My critique...
I haven't met this person. Is Avery...
White. He's been about my complexion.
Oh.
Yeah. Almost tore up everything in here.
Yeah.
I mean, that would probably be helpful.
My critique to him, and Kiki said the same thing, because we had so many contestants, only two of us were talking, giving actual critiques, so it was myself and Kiki. He did great. I told him he needs to either bleep it out or use the censored version. Because...
I mean, the censored version is not that far off.
It's not. And I mean...
broke.
Right. And he said, he's like, well, I'm dating a black dude. I said, I don't care. Kiki said, I don't care either.
That made it even worse.
That was the one thing I was like, that's not your word. And some people are like, well, why is everybody going to get offended? Be sensitive. You don't have to be a dick. If someone says they're bothered by something...
Are you calling Avery a dick? Because
no.
I really think that he's a fantastic person.
And
Jesus now Christ. You're digging at him and... Again. Let's He really is not being a racist because he doesn't know how to be since he's
I don't think he thought about it. But the man should have. He didn't think that it was a big deal. I don't think
it's his privilege not to think about it.
So, you know, but again, that's one of these things. If someone says that they're bothered by something, you don't get to say, well, I'm not, so therefore it's a non-issue. That's not how that works. You know...
Where's the one person that said he was going to be on here constantly?
Right?
Sent us a full-blown message that said, I'm going to be watching you guys tonight.
And again, I'm going to reiterate this for the people that keep popping on. This is not about Maya. This is about Pride having weird double standards. This is about
society having weird double standards.
No, this is specifically Pride, though. Well, yes, I mean, it's everything. We can have movies that have people chopping people's heads off and it's a PG-13, but as soon as you see some, like, butt, it's a rated R.
Oh, my God.
We, as a society, are so anti-nudity, but we're all about violence. That's everything.
American society, because I have watched some European movies on Netflix and been like, ooh, hun.
Ever watched a British sitcom?
Yes. You're like, whatever. Oh, okay.
Because why is violence better than nudity? I've never understood that. But it is not about Maya as an entertainer. It is not about Maya as a person. It is about Pride having standards and guidelines that don't make sense and probably need to be looked at. It is about understanding who your audience is
and knowing
and who your community is and making judgments based on that. It's about the community at large shaming people because they were bothered, because they were genuinely triggered, and because they had to remove their children because of this number.
Mm.
That's what this is about. Anybody that's trying to make it about, oh no, Maya shouldn't have won, blah, 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 Maya this, Maya that, stop.
Oh, we're not doing that.
Stop. Nobody has said that. Not one person has said, well, Maya shouldn't have won because of blah, blah, blah. Nobody said that. Not one person.
What did she say? Everyone has a body. Not everyone has to experience the violence.
Right.
Ooh. Something smart out
right.
of D. What?
Right.
Don't copy and paste, girl. That's
right.
what Teddy said.
It's, so anybody that's trying to make this something that it's not, just stop. You're stirring the pot when it doesn't need to be stirred. Like
big
I said,
old cauldron. They got that.
I have reached
cauldron.
out. I've reached out to Pride. Other people reached
Javier,
out to
I didn't
Pride.
get to see your talent.
They're talking about it.
Did you get to see
Javier's talent was really good. I was actually very surprised. Not that I wouldn't expect. That's not what I meant.
Say that again.
Jesus Christ.
Wait a minute. Rewind.
That's not what I meant. That's not what I meant.
Go back.
I didn't know what to expect because I've the only time I've ever seen Javier perform was when we all went to the Rock when Coco was in Barber's show.
Oh, okay.
So that's the only time I've ever seen. So I didn't know what to expect. That's what I meant. It was great. It was fun. He actually did traditional like Mexican dancing.
Mm-hmm.
It was great. I mean, it was really, really good. I think that he played to his strengths and he played to his roots, which was awesome.
Valentina, were you there? Oh, okay, because she says she liked Javier's talent. I was like, why were you there and not?
No, but it was good. I was impressed.
Oh my God! Look at all this shade just rolling in here.
Wah, wah,
I say
wah.
one thing all night.
God,
Everybody's all over it.
Here we go.
Okay. She says she's been sick.
Right. Yeah, and Coco totally sitting there. Coco totally said that she would do his talent if it wasn't cultural appropriation. Like it was.
So when I first started drag, that was not a thing. I don't think, because I used to do all kinds of stuff.
Well, okay. It's like.
I don't wear Indian headpieces because I know the native. Excuse me. Sorry.
Jesus Christ.
Sorry. Beat me up, Eddie. It's fine.
Oh my God. Yeah, it was so.
Just like I said, people like to feed into the drama.
Right. See, and. But I mean, like I said, all the contestants were. I was impressed by pretty much everybody. Like I really was.
What? He's reading something on the internet.
No, he's not. He's playing his game. He's laughing at me. Is what he's laughing at. I said pretty much everybody.
Dolores Latcher is Shady Boots.
Yes. Well.
What'd she say?
Oh my God.
But it was fun dressing Sassy Diaz.
I have to say, I have, obviously, we've seen Sassy compete numerous times. Mm-hmm. You remember that time we spent, 2 days stoning a dress because she went to nationals with nothing?
And she pulled out this dress, almost looks like this.
Mm-hmm.
And she said, this is what
I'm
wearing. And it has nothing on it.
But wait, I have these plastic things to wear, like beads.
Remember when I was pooping out those stones and I wasn't even there?
Yeah.
And then she kept saying, I'll do just fine. Right. I'll be fine.
So, from that, which was 2 years ago, to now.
Oh my gosh.
Right?
Coco, we are complimenting.
The
Hi,
amount
Trey.
Of...
Trey, you missed our conversation.
Right? You missed the whole, thing, dude. I mean, you're late. But the growth I've seen in Sassy... honestly is immense and is fantastic. And honestly,
The glow up.
it's
Yes.
oh, is
the
that what
glow
that is?
up.
I don't know what the fuck that is. I'm like whatever.
It looked like you had found it.
Yeah. But and honestly, I think that kind of growth comes from having a support system that doesn't just sit there and say, "Oh my god, that was amazing. That was awesome. You're so hot."
I have never said that to her.
No. I made it a point at the pageant, after gown and after talent,
I'm glad you waited.
to run back. Thanks. To run back and you know, tell her how proud of her I was and how amazing I think she did. She looked fantastic. She really did. Thank you. She knows, you know, I gave her my critiques because
Angela Bassett against the Boy Scout?
your arms. I might not have been
They're
judging
not
in an
that
official
big.
capacity, but I'm always judging regardless.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Oh, let me just go ahead.
Okay, Kiki.
Sit here. No, these are... Wait, I can't even see that arm. Where is this? Here, there, like this? It's thinner this way.
So, but
Oh, God! Why is there a discussion about my arms? I'm just gonna
but
go
no,
to the gym and
I
not
think
lift
that
anything.
Sassy did really, really well, and I'm very, very proud of her.
See,
for
Javier said
what
he
she
was
did.
amazed.
And you know, a lot of the contestants surprised me. Roman surprised me in that
I saw his video.
He always beats himself up about things, and he always doubts himself. And he got up there, and his talent was fucking amazing.
I don't think I've ever seen the male version of that before.
It's because there isn't technically a male version.
Because I always see it at pageants done by the queens, and I was
Yeah,
like,
but when the queens do it, they don't do it like this. Like
no, they don't move like that.
Roman fucking killed it. It was fucking amazing.
I went to a national pageant where somebody did.
You didn't even have to go to a national pageant to see it.
Oh, I haven't seen that one. Oh.
Yeah. No shade.
All shade.
But no, he did amazing, and he placed in the top 5 for on stage question. He ended up placing 3rd. Like it was awesome. Javier, I liked his suit, his After 6 with the white tux jacket with the like. That was sharp.
I don't think I saw that.
It was sharp.
Did I see that?
Because with Pride, it's like because
Is
it's
that when
after
I saw
6,
you in the hallway?
Could be. Because it's after 6, so it's not like creative evening wear kind of thing, so it doesn't have to be embellished. But his was probably one of the best fitting suits. His suit fit him. He looked sharp.
It wasn't over embellished.
It was not. It was clean. It was for like as
that
far
was
as
my shade being
like,
real shade.
After 6 attire, like it was perfect.
It's
it
gonna
looked
take
awesome.
the house down.
It looked awesome. It really did. It was.
So who's
it was
competing
good.
next year?
Right? That's what I want to know. Me, I want to go back.
Are you allowed to?
I don't think there's anything that says I can't.
We're gonna start you a GoFundMe.
That would be funny.
But I'm gonna take all the money.
Okay.
And I shot.
Oh, that would be funny. Coco's like, not me. Oh my goodness. I am curious to see who's gonna run next year.
I can't show you what's going on over here. I can't.
Oh my god.
I
But
really can't.
all in all, the pageant was good. It wasn't.
Was that the only upset?
I think so, for the most part.
Lisa was good.
Her
Her gown.
I do think that Lisa St. Laurent should have won gown. That's my personal opinion. I think that her gown was absolutely stunning, and she looked amazing in it. Like, it was absolutely
She was in that.
beautiful. Javier, I think you absolutely should run next year. Absolutely. I think that your potential is there. I think you should absolutely run next year.
Prince of Pride.
For sure. For sure.
Oh, wouldn't that be cool?
But there
if they
wasn't
had,
like
little,
Other than what we've already discussed, there wasn't really any
Never
kind of
mind.
a major
I've been
upset or
drinking,
anything
I
like
can't
that. But again, I think Lisa St. Laurent should have won gown. Had I been judging, I would have placed her first in gown, hands down.
Mm-hmm.
You should have seen it from where we were. Like, it was absolutely.
I saw it up close.
Stunning.
I saw her when she was getting dressed.
Absolutely stunning. Like,
Ugh.
yeah. It was. I had her.
It was almost like it, like.
When she walked out on stage, because she walked out almost completely sideways, so all you saw was the velvet. You didn't see the cutout until she turned.
Ugh.
She turned, and the entire audience went, oh, like. Yeah.
Like, we were back there, and when she, like, started walking toward us, I was like,
Yeah. It was fucking gorgeous.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That was, I mean, that's just me. You know, I'm gonna judge whether I'm judging officially or not, so.
I think we all do.
Right. So, yeah. Yes, Angie, Spotlight is on Saturday. Saturday night starts at 10, since we're going that way anyway.
Thanks
at
for the
Cash,
segue.
Right? 10
o'clock. $5 to get in.
$5 to get in. It's a little bit of a different setup this time, but I'm kind of excited. I think it's going to work out really well. We've got 3 burlesque performers. We've got Espresso Grande coming and helping with hosting duties, and then you've got the regular cast of idiots.
You just call me.
I
I think I gotta go. Wait, this is my house.
But it's gonna be a good show. Saturday night at the Cash, $5.
It's the second one, right? No, on here. At the end.
Yes. And then Phoenix
After
Pride is happening 2 weeks from this weekend, April 7th and 8th. And Spotlight is actually performing on the main stage for the first time on Sunday at 2 o'clock. And we're bringing out some of our best. So, all right. I'm excused. I'm excused.
You read.
It's the usual gang of idiots. You've never heard that term?
No.
Never mind. I think it's from
Asia.
I think it's from Mad Magazine. Because they always. If you look at their.
You have to explain.
If you look at their writers.
Just come out.
If you look, because they always, they've got the illustrators right in the middle and the usual gang of idiots.
You should have explained.
Sorry,
it
that's
like
from
that.
Mad Magazine.
Excuse me.
But yeah, Spotlight's performing on the main stage of Pride Sunday at 2 o'clock. I'm excited about it. I know we're bringing out some of my favorite numbers.
This is my first time kind of like really nervous.
Oh, fantastic! Just know
I might
your words.
throw
It'll be fine.
up.
Disco Inferno.
Are we doing disco?
No, but we could. You want to?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was into it. I was like,
You
yeah.
were into it. Oh my god, we could totally Disco Inferno. But it's gonna be fun. I'm excited about that.
That's fun.
You're doing speed dating again?
Yes.
Oh, fun.
On April 14th at the Cash.
Nobody ever tells me these things.
I don't remember the time.
Well, speed dating again on April 14th at the Cash. We don't know when. And bingo is happening, of course, every Thursday at the Cash. We had an awesome crowd last week.
And the week before.
And the week before, like it's fantastic. Last week we had every table was full. People were sitting along the back.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, it was awesome. We had a fantastic crowd. Like, it was great. So definitely come out for Thursday nights for Truth or Dare. Good night, Trey. For Truth or Dare Bingo at the Cash. It's fun.
I'm gonna have to
play.
do some, like, type some up before I.
Yes.
Because.
Yes.
I thought about that last week, but I was busy with something else.
Whatever. So yeah, and then there's gonna be Cat Bingo again in April. We think it'll be Pride Weekend, but we're not sure. I gotta have to double check that. We have to find out.
Oh, we didn't finalize it because we were waiting to see if it was okay on your calendar.
Yeah, I know. I've been a little busy.
I mean, what the fuck are you doing?
I know.
We have a show on Saturday.
I'm
like
aware.
You're busy or something.
Oof. So yeah.
Anyway, upcoming guests that we have coming up on the show are Coco St. James, Savannah Stevens, Paul Castle, who's the artist and boyfriend of the shirtless violinist.
Oh, maybe we'll see him again too.
He melted the screen. Okay. We both sat here just staring at him, basically, the whole time. And then I had to come up with questions because Freddy just started staring at him at one point. Watch the playback.
That's awful.
Anyway, we want to thank our sponsors. Gabe King Photography. You can find him at GabeKingPhotography.com. We want to thank Marissa Sanchez of Wigs of a Kind. Oh, I need to change that. That's wrong. You can find her at WigsOfAKind.com. And we want to thank the Burly Barber. I believe that somebody asked me about, I don't know if she's still interested because she asked where it was located. But the Burly Barber, you'll have to tune in next month to see if you could win a free haircut. It's in Tempe. So if you're near that and want to win it,
fuck that. I'm not near that, and I drive to them when I'm ready to haircut.
You're right.
So
you're right. I'm not near them either. Well,
you're
kind of
closer to him
yes.
than I am.
Special thanks to Brandon, Leanne, Carrie, and Patricia for supporting us on Patreon. If you want to support us, send us a message and we'll send you the address. Or if you're on Facebook, or if you're on YouTube, it's in the description of the video. I put in both this time. I was like, I can do that.
So thank you guys so much for watching, and we will see you next week. I have all sorts of fun things to talk about because we got Spotlight and all this stuff, so it'll be fun.
I'm just going to turn this off.
All right.
Because I'm tired of looking at my belly button.